My son wasn't throwing a tantrum. He wasn't whining. He was crying, the kind of crying that doesn't make a sound, just shivers and shallow gasps, shoulders drawn in like he was trying to fold himself out of the world. He looked so small, curled into the corner of the couch, clutching his burned hand to his chest. He burned his hand with warm water, she said, voice steady, eyes dry, her tone soaked in feigned concern that didn't quite mask the hollowness behind it. A casual lie, neat and practiced, one that sounded almost maternal if you didn't know what I knew. I glanced at her, no guilt, no panic, just a flicker of annoyance, like this whole ordeal was an inconvenience she'd rather scroll past. We drove to the hospital in silence. Our boy sat beside me, his uninjured hand clenched tightly round my sleeve. I didn't say a word, just kept both hands on the wheel, knuckles pale from the force of holding it together. In the exam room, the doctor peeled the bandage back gently. He looked at me, not at her. Not even once, just me. His voice dropped to a near whisper, sharp and steady. This wasn't an accident, he said. This was held, deliberate. Time slowed. The walls seemed to close in. I nodded once, jaw tight, face unreadable. Something inside me cracked, but not with rage, not with chaos. It was a clean break, surgical, quiet. She didn't ask what the doctor said, didn't glance up from her phone when we returned. She lit a candle, sat on the edge of the sofa, eyes on the screen, while our son lay beside her, thumb in mouth, wounded hand propped up like some tiny, defeated soldier. I watched her from the hallway, watched how still she sat, how untouched she was by any of it. He still called her mommy sometimes, but lately it sounded more like a question he wasn't sure he wanted the answer to. I started looking backward. Conversations took on new shapes. Her smiles looked thinner now, her laugh hollow. That one time he flinched when she reached for him, I'd brushed it off. But it came back to me now like a scream buried in fog. The bottle of sleeping pills I found under the sink, that wasn't her prescription. She'd told me she changed her mind about children. Maybe she meant just for a while. I didn't accuse. I listened. I watched. Every liar has a rhythm, and hers was clockwork. Smooth, unshaken. She started leaving her phone on the nightstand. That was her mistake. The messages were innocent at first. Then one from a contact saved under Laura. He's getting in the way. Another. He asked where the bruise came from. I said he fell. He didn't believe me. I took screenshots, every word. No shaking hands, no hesitation. I checked the baby monitor logs, reviewed the motion sensors in his room. Patterns formed like bruises. She was always there, when the cries started, when they didn't end, when the silence stretched too long. Our son stopped calling for her at night, started crawling into my bed instead. His sleep deepened, the screaming faded. Still, I didn't confront. She needed to feel secure. The more safe she felt, the sloppier she became. Monsters don't grow fangs until they're sure you aren't looking. They smile first. I met with a pediatric psychologist, then a lawyer, then a detective. The reports came back dry, professional, but they hurt to read. Burn marks that didn't match the story, bruises shaped like fingers, signs of neglect too, subtle for the untrained eye, but unmistakable once seen. They asked if I wanted to press charges. I said, not yet, not before she knew I knew, and not before I showed her what it felt like to be powerless. That night, I left the envelope on the kitchen table, sat across from her and waited. She picked it up, opened it slowly. Her hand started to tremble halfway through the second page. Her eyes flicked to mine, confused, afraid, like she was looking at a stranger. She was. Why didn't you say something sooner? She whispered. I smiled, just barely. Because I was giving you time to tell the truth. She never did. The next morning, I packed his things. I didn't tell her where we were going. We went to court, to the hospital, to CPS, each step set carefully, like dominoes falling, toward a final reckoning. My lawyer called her that afternoon. She screamed into the phone, said I was destroying her life, pleaded, denied, threatened. I said nothing. I sent her the court order for emergency custody, permanent, binding. That night, she came pounding on the door. Her voice broke through the wood, begging, angry. Our son hid behind me, small hand tugging mine. I don't want to go with her, he whispered. You won't, I said. When I opened the door, she tried to step inside. I blocked the frame. Calm. Cold, there's nothing left for you here. I told her, not even sympathy. She stared into me, searching for the man she once manipulated. But my eyes had nothing left to give. Whatever she saw there made her step back into the night without another word. She doesn't call anymore. The silence feels earned now. Paid for in bruises I should have seen sooner. In wounds I mistook for growing pains. But he sleeps through the night, laughs again, draws with both hands. Little masterpieces taped to the fridge like bandages over something broken, but healing. Sometimes he still asks why she did it. I never answer. Because some truths should never pass from father to son. Some rot has to end. Where it began with me. But I will never forget. Because warm water doesn't burn a child's skin. It burns something far deeper. And that kind of burn doesn't heal. It scars forever.